The guest comes in and makes you
Tino,
spell a word.
Tino, can you pronounce this for me? Kenya.
Kenya. Kenya.
Can you lick my balls?
I was genuinely thinking that you were having a hard time pronouncing a word. Okay, we're starting.
Let's get scratching.
Got him. All right, we're back. Morning Shootaround, episode 2, back in the Performance Center. It's the regular cast of characters, Delbs, Pacer, and our very special guest, Mr. Connor Robinson. We'll get to in just a moment here because this episode of Morning Shootaround is brought to you by the Performance Center, and who better to tell you all about it than the man who built the place himself, Tyler Pace. Why don't you go for it?
Yeah, the Pro Caliber Performance Center located here in Port Coquitlam. We are your home for sports training, lacrosse training, hockey training, football training, soccer training, whatever kind of training you want to do here, we have you covered. We've got a staff of amazing trainers. We've got a staff of amazing coaches. We're going to help you elevate your game. This place was designed by pros for the everyday person to develop their game and push to the next level.
And one of those pros is our guest, Connor Robinson. Crob, congratulations on being our second ever guest. That's huge for you, I'm sure. And coming off of a tough loss to Vegas. So first of all, welcome to the show. Congratulations on being here. And
yeah, how does it feel to lose
Sorry
to
about Vegas.
Yeah, that one stung a bit, but we're here. So second best, second place. So thanks for having me on, guys. Excited to be second guest, second redhead. I know it was a tough decision, but fired up to be here.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna need some sunscreen for that couch over there pretty soon here.
we're gonna have to turn down the glare a little bit.
yeah, okay, well, I know this is going to be something that it might be a tough subject for you, but it's going to be something that I know a lot of people are going to want to hear from because it was one of our most viewed clips. The Crob getting called fat and out of shape on, unfortunately, on the broadcast. My main question is, have you talked to that broadcaster? Like, first of all, like, on behalf of everyone, like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That must have felt awful. But, like, have you had any conversation with the guy since?
Yeah, no, Johnny and I talked. He sent me a text. I mean, unfortunate it happened, but I mean, he could have said a lot worse. So I think calling me fat was, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. I've been called fat before. I've been called fat a lot. I'm gonna get called fat again. I might get called fat on this podcast. So it's not the end of the world. And I mean, Johnny, he's a good announcer. So I mean, just something bad shouldn't happen just because of one mistake. So understandably, mistakes happen, but I mean, just something we got to clean up, and something that if lacrosse is going to take that next step where we're going to be in contention with one of the other major leagues, we got to clean those things up.
Yeah, definitely. This is what your third year with Colorado, is that right? Fourth year.
Yeah.
Because you got dealt from Saskatchewan. I went down. I was doing broadcaster. I was doing some research before this, just to make sure I had everything ready to go. And so you were traded for some picks, but those picks turned out to be Bobby Kidd III and Jake Boudreau for Saskatchewan. But it kind of felt like, or it has felt like, one of those trades that's worked out for both sides. Like, you've been thriving since you arrived in Colorado, and those guys have been a part of a pretty cool rebuild to watch in Saskatchewan. So, like, why do you think the fit has been so well for you since arriving in Colorado?
Yeah, I think it was just got off to a bit of a rocky start and needed a fresh new look. So when COVID hit, I got the call from Jammer that I was getting shipped to Colorado, and it was a nice little refresher because I wasn't playing a lot. I think you did the research. How many games did I play in Sask?
Well, it was like 2 seasons. Wasn't it like
Not that much research.
No, I think I played like 5 games in 2 years. So like rarely played. Definitely was falling out of love with the sport. So it was definitely a fresh new start and a new outlook on my game. So it was awesome to go there, and knowing Pat, knowing Bish, and knowing a couple of guys that were already on the Mammoth. It was a nice fit, and I fit right in. So. And I mean, we won first year, so I mean, that's icing on the cake. So
Is that good?
Yeah, is that good?
That was like coming out of the Saskatchewan dynasty. That was a tough left side to crack. Coming in as a young guy, like you, and this is you can take it as a dig. Whatever. You're not much of a D guy.
No.
So
a little bit.
To play as a young guy on that team with that left side, like, you don't really have the opportunity to go out the back door. And you're not going to bump Mark Matthews or Jeff Shattler or Keenan out of the lineup. So I can imagine traveling to all those games. I don't know if you were put on the practice roster, the IR, or the holdout, whatever it was that you were in. I'm sure it wasn't the best situation. So, like, how for guys that maybe aren't playing as much as they want to be? Obviously, we're all in the NLL where we came out of wherever we were, and we were probably one of the better players in that previous league. So you come into the NLL, you're not playing as much as you want to. Like, how do you get through those weeks?
I mean, they're going to suck. I mean, there's no easy way to put it. Like, going into games and really not knowing if you're going to be in the lineup or not, and kind of leaning towards not so every single week. Going in, it really screws up a mindset of playing lacrosse your whole life and being the big dog or being one of the key pieces, never have to worry about coming out, and then going in as a rookie. And yeah, like you said, like, who am I going to take out? Matthews, Chatler, or Keenan, fresh off of 3 championships? Like, I mean, good, not that good. So it's really just about being there and being present and just trying to learn what you can. They're going to take some reps, and when you get in, you got to make do with what you got. And when I got into games, you didn't really capitalize, and it kind of showed. And it led to me being in the stands more times than not. So just doing what you can to learn from the guys who are successful in the sport. And you see the left side, and they're built for success. They kind of proved it in those years before we came into the league. So coming in, just trying to learn and seeing what they do and how they approach the game really helped me to kind of bring it when I got traded to Colorado and that fresh new start.
Yeah, and just I don't know if I'm stealing one of Tino's questions here, but just that transition to Colorado, like, I feel like that first year you might have had like 43 goals. Like, I did not do the research like he did, but Jamie can check that. Like, what's the transition of like feeling like, hey, like, this is where I should have been all along? Is that kind of the mindset you had?
Yeah, I think it was just coming in. We had all that time. We didn't really know when the season was going to happen because of COVID and the shutdown. So coming in, I knew that I wanted to make an impact, and Bish and Pat did a really great job to make me feel welcome and making me, comfortable with the offense, comfortable with the guys. I had the fortunate to play with Eli and Wardle and Nearsy, so I had played with that whole left side before, so I was familiar with the game. So it really helped me step in a bigger way. And then you got the right side with Leeser, who can always find you, Zeddy, who takes so much attention. We picked up Gibby, and when I got there, Tyler Digby was there, like a lot of big names. So I didn't have to really do anything but play my game and shoot the ball. And I really made it a point to, I'm going to shoot the ball as hard as I can and be able to pick my spots. And I mean, it worked out. Tusk up, baby.
King of the Tusk Up.
King
Well,
of the
okay.
Tusk Up.
So for the record, 11 games you played for Saskatchewan before you got dealt. And then in your first 2 seasons in Colorado, back-to-back 71-point campaigns.
How many goals?
42 in your first year,
Wow.
35 in your second.
That was good feeling.
6 on
You know
doubles
why
on
I
that.
know? Yeah, I was gonna say because he had 2 sock tricks on me. That's how I know.
Well, okay.
There's 12 there.
You also talk about, like, you got there and you were just able to play your game. Like, one of the things I've been dying to talk to you about for like a couple of years now is between the combination of you and Zed Williams, I don't think that there's a better combination of distance shooters in the entire National Lacrosse League. Like, I don't think that there's anybody else or any other combo that consistently scores from like the restraining line, or even in some cases deeper than that. Like, when do you start deciding to take those shots? Like, were you shooting like that in junior as well, or is that something you just started in the pros? Like where did that come from?
I think it just started from just messing around in the summertime, going to the field and just not really knowing the range and seeing any markers and just kind of shooting as hard as you can and seeing if you can hit that right spot or hit that post in or whatever it is. But yeah, me and Zeddy, we got a lot of similarities. They
Same build,
same physique, same type of game. But the only big difference is, I mean, Zeddy's he's ridiculous. Like, some of the stuff he does, like, year after year, it just amazes me. Like the dunk he had week 1 and just like random stuff where, like, even when he scores and it gets fires up, like, he scares the shit out of me.
And he's like quiet. He's like a quiet,
Yeah.
scary guy. Like,
Like-
he's just a bigger human than everyone else.
Yeah, so when you see him get fired up, you get a little worried. So he scored a couple times, and I try to like go to like dab him up, and like he like one-handed shoves me, and I go like 10 feet backwards. I got to make sure I don't fall down. But no, I think it's just the reps that me and Zeddy just kind of during practice, after the field, whatever it is, just seeing how far we can get away with. And then sometimes in the games, I kind of it's not even really like test myself, but like you kind of get a feeling where, oh, you kind of see a spot and you want to see what happens. So you let it go, and you're not going to score if you don't shoot the ball, right? So
Yeah.
I'm out there for a reason. Let the ball go.
It's good advice, actually.
I mean, Pacer scored from center last year, so
yeah.
Did you?
yeah, in Vancouver, right?
I don't know.
Happened too many times. Can't remember.
Probably threw his back out.
All I was thinking when he said I scored from center was that game against
in Maple Ridge.
Yeah, his last WA
when
game
Delps
ever.
was watching.
Last WA game ever. Krob was there.
I was there.
Yeah, on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was celebrating.
Yeah, you were a little skinnier then.
Yeah, but hey.
Tino brought it up.
runner-ups.
Tino brought it up. Maybe you learned some of the stuff that you're doing now in junior. All-time leading point getter in New Westminster Junior A history.
Historic franchise.
Historic franchise. I'm
Good
now
callback.
a belly. I'm now a belly.
Historic.
Also,
So-
Belly.
Yeah, belly.
Belly.
So
Well, sadly,
I am
Thunder.
now invested in the history, the rich history, and it is a rich history. To be at the top, like, do you ever think about that? Is that like a cool little accolade? Is it something you bring up sometimes? Like, what's that like?
It's pretty crazy.
Well, first of all, let me say welcome to the newest family. It's a privileged community. You're gonna love it. Historic Queens Park Arena, like you said. No, it's something really cool that I definitely kind of look back at. I mean, it was all my friends that I grew up with, all sticking together and playing. Sure, we brought in a few guys now and then, but it was for the most part the core group, and it was just something special that we don't really bring it up now and then. But I definitely, when we graduated, they gave us a bunch of kind of a photo book and a kind of bunch of memorabilia that I got hanging on my wall. So every time we check it out, you kind of get those memories. And sadly, no Minto Cups, but I can sit next to I guess across from my co-MVP.
Yeah, we did have a co-MVP in junior.
I never got the ring though.
Yeah, no.
I met the guy at McDonald's
They
at like
didn't just
7
give you-
a.m.
I
on a
have-
Sunday.
I have half of it. I just have half of it.
They just didn't even put the gem in. You just get the metal part.
No. Yeah, couldn't agree on a color.
Yeah.
I have your junior points up here as well. 3 out of your 5 years, you broke 100 points. Your first year, you had 37. Then you go 104. Third year, 65, and then you finish with 108 and 130 points.
And those are not full seasons. Like he missed like 3 or 4 games at the start of the year, I feel like.
Yeah,
for
so
school.
in your last 2 years, like 20 games, 17, 21, 18. So, and also like you took some face-offs, it looks like here.
I was a face-off guy.
Yeah, he was a face-off guy.
Were you?
NLL statistics, I'm 50% all time, 4 for 8.
Yeah, junior. 56%. It's pretty good.
I'm holding that to the
not
day
bad.
I die.
Yeah, how many of those points were versus Nanaimo, you think, at that point?
No, I was always batting against Nanaimo. I hated
You
the
guys
third
like
trip.
shut them out one time too,
We
like
did, yeah.
14-0.
15-0.
Yeah, shout out Eric Kratz. Eric Kratz. Shout out to him.
My first and only ever shutout since I think ever.
Yeah, you haven't
Since ever.
you haven't got one in the hall yet.
No, not yet. We almost got shut out, but we were bad last year.
Well, I mean, speaking of like Langley, you were when all of these guys were going over. Well, last year you're playing in Langley.
You're talking about Colorado. That's okay.
Well, speaking of last year, then you were one of the few guys that stayed and played in the WLA while all these guys were going to play. Was there ever a chance? Like, was there ever any conversation of you going and playing in Ladner?
Yeah, I think there was a conversation.
Our left side was full.
Yeah. Didn't have room for me.
It was
But,
him or Benny. Same build.
No, I was thinking about it for a bit, and I think Senior B would have been a lot of fun, but Bucky and Langley, I thought we had a good little plan, and we were almost there, back-to-back years? So, I mean, we were almost there, and I think Ladner would have been fun, but I went to a couple of your guys' games in the Prezzies. That looked like so much fun. It looked like an absolute grind, though. It looked like Benny. I think I watched them all on YouTube, but I think I went to the day 5 one, and I don't think Benny got above 5 kilometers an hour on the floor.
That wasn't just that, was
that
all
game.
season.
Just that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, what do you mean? That's been the last 3 years of his career.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Ladner Pioneers New West Salmonbelly Queens Park edition, Senior B?
I was invited. I have a lot of friends on that Senior B team. They were really excited to tell me that they scored on Delbs 1-0, and then proceeded to get outscored by the amount of shots they took. I think you had 27 shots and you guys had 28 goals.
Yeah.
And then
We were good. We were good.
Were you?
So the reason I brought that up, when we would go to Queens Park, there would legit be 3 people in the crowd. Like it'd be empty. you could hear
Silence.
a silence.
Yeah.
My grandma always buys 50-50 tickets. So she spent $20 on the 50-50. She ended up winning the 50-50.
Just
It
10
was
bucks.
$10.
10 bucks.
She was the only one to buy.
That's so
The one
tough.
that cracked me up, I was healthy scratch for one of those games in Queen's Park.
That's what I
And-
mean. Like
and
getting healthy in senior
this
B.
this guy comes up
No
to me
wonder
and he's
you're not
talking
playing
to
in the
me, and
league,
I'm
pal.
like, who is this? And it's Liam LeClair's dad. Like, was just in town, and he came to watch our Ladner senior B. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man, that you came to this. Like, can I pay for your ticket? Like,
He should have just bought 50-50.
yeah.
Would have
Coulda-
probably won.
My favorite part from just going back to the President's Cup for a sec. My favorite part of that was at one point in between one of your guys' games. I went over. I texted Pacer because I wanted to buy a PCL hoodie from him, trying to support the brand. And I walk over and like ask him like, "Hey man, how you feeling?" And you're like, I feel like I just played 6 games in like 3 days. How do you think I feel? And then you proceeded to sell me a youth large hoodie.
Yeah, he wanted a large hoodie. I gave him a youth large hoodie. I didn't listen.
That's a good. No, that's a good salesman. It's distraction. You need to get
Yeah.
rid. You got a couple
Tino
more
went
larges.
home and was just in his own head.
He
like,
outgrew
am I-
it fast. He had to come back and get another one.
I put it on, and my wife Jen's looking at me as the sleeves stop at my elbows. She's like,
He's
"This
like,
guy's
did I
swindle
gain
you?"
this much weight?
I want to go back to Colorado here for a little bit because I would imagine there's been kind of a wave of emotions throughout the handful of years that you've been there, because like you mentioned, like first year you win the championship, second year you go back, fall to Buffalo, but still get back there again. And then last year you guys have a pretty significant down year where you guys finished last. It kind of worked out in your favor because you end up getting Will Malcolm back at first overall pick in the dispersal draft, which is just unbelievable. But
Chestnut checkers.
yeah,
Was
fair
our plan all along?
Shout out Pat Coyle. I guess just like talk us through what the journey in Colorado has been like, considering those wave of emotions of getting to the finals, finishing last one year. Now you guys kind of seem like you're back to the Colorado that everyone's kind of used to.
Yeah, it was definitely it was definitely a fairy tale experience. I don't know why I said fairy tale. That was weird.
Just call yourself out.
I couldn't think of the right word. But no, it was awesome to go right in and win right away. And during that season, it wasn't like we were winning every game. We were blowing teams out. Like we were going down, and our motto was down 5. Scott Carney. Did you ever play with Scotty Carnes?
Oh, Scoots, all-time guy.
The best.
I've never seen somebody put down 2 appies and a main more consistently.
The best.
Yeah, not a big guy either.
No, but anyways, he started the motto down 5 because it seemed like every game we were down going into the third or fourth quarter, and we always seemed a way to come back. And it was the same the second year, and unfortunately Buffalo got the better of us in the finals. But then for some reason in the third year we'd go down, and for some reason just we ran out of gas and we couldn't find a way to come back. And it was really frustrating at the end, just knowing that like we got the talent, we got 90% of the same guys, so we don't know what's wrong. But little injuries here and there, kind of a couple balls don't go your way, and next thing you know, you're riding dead last. But I think this year we kind of, Patty and Selfer did a really good job at getting the boys focused and getting it back on track to kind of getting back to playing the gritty Mammoth lacrosse like we're used to. So we're off to a hot start. I mean, we kind of put up a stinker last weekend, but no, I think we're moving in the right direction. So we're excited for this year.
And I mean, as part of that whole journey, like we already mentioned, you guys get Will Malcolm in the dispersal draft. Like, what's it been like to be rejoined? Have you played with him previous to this?
I played with him. He was like a half call-up like my 5th year junior. So I played with him like 5 or 6 games, but his older brother, Tony, and my older brother, Reese, were the same age at New West, played all minor, played junior together. So I know Will kind of before we got a chance to play together. So I'm so happy to have him. He's so good. I mean, he put up, 7 his second game, and I mean, he's just an awesome guy in the room. I mean, he sits right next to me, so we get along great. We really got into the nerd clusters and the Diet Cokes. They're just pregame, just a little pregame tradition for us, and it's the best.
That's my kind of dressing room.
Yeah.
It's
Just what you need.
A
Hey,
couple
Rob?
DCs for the boys.
no.
Or sugar.
well, yeah, just pregame. Well, marathon runners and sprinters eat sugar before the sprints. Why can't I
How's it?
have a couple clusties before first warm up?
Like
Tell me that,
serious question, not as a dig. Like, what is it like playing with like an O guy that like has like that fast twitch like so quick. Like, do you ever have to tell him, like, man, you got to slow down so I can get there to set the pick for you?
You know what? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think he does a really good job of, I don't want to say slowing down because I'm calling myself slow, but definitely waiting for me to get there. I think it's a
Like,
better
he's
choice
a
of
freak.
words.
He's a
Yeah,
freak.
but like
brother too. Both siblings.
It's ridiculous.
Insanely fast.
one of the best things I ever saw was back in intermediate when you're shorthanded, you didn't like have the 30 running, and you saw Anthony Malcolm just like run around. He had that huge monster mesh, like the ball was about
With 2 shooting strings. Wow, what a
no
US twig.
no shooters. What do you mean?
Oh, I thought he had like the
No, it was ridiculous. But he would just run around for 2 minutes and just juking people out with just like that shifty step, and it's just, I mean, I think Will's a little bit quicker, but it's so nice to have him on that left side. Like it just opens up so much space for me on the outside.
And
just
then you have Eli, who's also a pretty good player.
the best of both worlds. I mean, he's nasty. We were talking about it before we got on here. Just like
Yeah.
his twister is just out of this world.
Me and Krob are shooting on 12-year-old kids. Like, I think Eli throws his twister like this, opening up our hips, leaning back, throwing out our back.
Burying these 12-year-olds.
Yeah, we felt
Sorry,
good.
guys.
Confidence booster. Sorry if you're listening, 12-year-olds.
Well, it's big. I mean, after like you said, the game you played against Vegas, like confidence boosters are big right now. You need those.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to ride the wave, and sometimes it's not going to go your way, so you got to bounce back.
It kind of feels like you guys have a lot of guys on your Colorado team that do like ride the wave. It almost seems like that's kind of the mantra of this Colorado team. Like I don't think there's another team in the league that has as many comebacks, like large comebacks, as consistent as you guys do throughout the year. Like there's the however many against, it seems like they always happen against Vancouver, where everyone's like, Vancouver's so sick, and then it's against Colorado and you guys go on a 7-goal run in the second half. But like, what is that? Where does that come from? Where, I don't know, do you guys just have like a bunch of emotional leaders? Like, how do you guys consistently come back in these games?
I think it's a mix of everything, like you mentioned, and I think the big thing for us is emotional leadership, like you said. I think Eli, I mean, you see him out there when he's scoring goals, he's celebrating, he's firing the crowd up. Like you see how much he loves the game and see how much he loves kind of being out there with the fellas. So I think we rely on him a lot on the offensive zone. And then you got Hopi and you got like Timmy Edwards, who you see diving. I don't think I've ever seen him without both knees covered in blood after a game. Like those are just like the kind of dogs you want on the back end that just like give you that energy and know that like no matter what, like you're never out of the fight. And then to wrap it all up, you got Wardo and Net, who's just out of this world.
Yeah, your guys' like core group has been together for a long time. Like, is there? I think, at least across the league, we all kind of know that Colorado maybe doesn't compensate their players the same way that other teams do, especially considering the amount of fans that you guys get. So the decisions for some of these older guys to stick around and play in Colorado is like a testament to, you know, obviously the atmosphere playing there, the team itself, the success that you guys have. But are those conversations that you guys are having in the off season? Like, man, we don't want to be anywhere else except with this group of guys.
Yeah, and I've only gone through 2 contract negotiations with Selfer, so I'll have to go through another one. But yeah, like that core group, I think Wardo's the longest guy now after Joey left, and I think he's 12 years. And then Hopi, Eli, Gillis, Timmy, all those guys. It's just a great place to play. And I mean, it makes it really hard to leave a place that you love playing and a place that treats you so well. And I mean, it's a lot of these guys are, I mean, they're talking every day. They're best friends. They've been best friends since the day they got drafted, since the first day they showed up at camp. So it's just those special bonds and the leadership that Patty and Bish have in Selfer. It makes it fun to come to the rink, which is, I think, the big thing. And it makes it important for me, where I think the most important thing, I know we talk to the kids when we coach them, is like one of the most important things is having fun, but like still true for us. Like we wouldn't go out there if we hated it. If we hated running around, like I love going there and I love the guys, and it's just, it's so much fun being there. So I think that's a big reason why a lot of the guys have stuck around for so many years.
When Joey did leave, when Joey Capito did move on, now he's in Georgia, of course. What was that like was that a shock for you guys? Because speaking of emotional leaders, like the fans in Colorado loved him. Like that place is electrifying whenever he would score a goal. What's it like for you guys when you find out he's moving on?
Yeah, it was definitely pretty tough. I know he's been around and been a part of the Mammoth organization for over a decade, and it really sucks losing a guy like that who he's so much fun to have in the room, to get up. And I know he he likes to get on guys and kind of get them going a bit. But it's tough to lose a guy like that, but it's always a pleasure when you get to play with him. So it was awesome to play with him for 3 years, and unfortunately he moved on to Georgia. But I mean, I think he went like 5 games in a row with a breakaway goal. So he's still got it. He's still buzzing out there. So I mean, he's such a great guy, and he's killing it in Georgia right now. So
The fake change. It's an all-time play.
it's ridiculous.
He's just how he
I don't know
got
how
away
people-
with it. Like it's check the tape, watch the
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, he's
For those of you who don't know, Joey's whole thing is he kind of does like gets to the O zone, takes 3 steps to the bench. The O guy just bails, goes straight down the middle and tucks it.
Tucks it almost every time.
What a move.
Obviously, well, I don't know if it's obviously, but I went to school in Denver, so I would go to a lot of. While I was there, I would go to a lot of Mammoth games. We would get after it before the games, and we would sell tickets outside. Like we'd be getting tickets from some of the guys, and we'd sell them outside, scalp them, and like buy drinks inside. Like we had
College
good
life.
times there.
You've always been an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's right.
Grind doesn't stop,
It
baby.
never stops. But like Denver's the best.
Yeah.
Like whenever anybody asks me about Denver, like my experience there, it's like not only was the school amazing, but the city itself is like the most fun. There's always something to do. It's a big time sports town. It reminds me a lot of like the Calgary of the US.
Mhm.
Like the atmosphere is kind of the same. The fanfare is kind of the same. And I know that you've lived down there for several years of your time in Colorado. But do you think that like the ability to live in Colorado is a reason that people stay for so long?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic place, and Calgary is a very similar city, and that's what kind of it gets compared to a lot for the Canadians. But I lived there for 2 years, and it was so much fun. I mean, there's always something to do. The sports teams are they're not always good. Like the Broncos and the Rockies, they were kind of stinking for when I was living down there, but like they were always packing the stadium. There was always, people passionate about sports, passionate about, going out, having beers, having fun.
Passionate
Well, you
about
can't-
going
you can't-
out and having beers.
You can't be passionate about
I'm
having
just
beers,
passionate about that.
but
You can
no,
have passion.
exactly. But no, I mean, you live there and you get all 4 seasons. Like one in the morning, it's going to be -2. In the afternoon, it's going to be 22 degrees. So you're going to get all 4 seasons. And I love my time there. And I think we have 4 guys so far that have come there and agreed to come move for the season and ended up moving their whole lives there. So, I mean, that's just a testament to, and that's like the last 4 years. I know all the old guys like Johnny Gallant, what is it? Why am I blanking on them? Langtree, all of them, they're all living down there and they love it.
Sick place.
Sick place.
Yeah. If you get a chance to go live in Denver, you should.
Love to give it a shot. The Mammoth, when you guys did win in 2022, you were also a part of that stretch where like the Avalanche also won and the Nuggets also won. And wasn't that in a stretch of like one? Wasn't that all in the
The
same?
It was the same year.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
all in the same year. Did you guys were you guys being the Mammoth? Were you a part of any championship parade?
Yeah, so sore subject here for just on my part, but it was sick for the boys. But
oh no,
bullshit on my part. So yeah, so the Kroenke owns the Rams that won in February, and then we won, and it was cool because there was a video somewhere of the Avs were playing in the finals at that time. They had a home game, so they put our game of us winning the countdown on the jumbotron. So that was pretty sick when the Avs game was going on. So they won the next week. I was living down there, so we went on a bit of a week bender.
Just a passion for drinking beer.
Passionate. Just a passion. Anyways, me and Eli were like, all right, we got to get out of here. Like, we got to start playing summer ball. I had a man cup to win, but we lost. Anyways, we were driving back because Selfer was saying that like the only way we were going to be in the Avs parade was if they're going to fly the whole team in, and they weren't going to do that. So we're like, all right. So we left and we got like 20 out of the 24-hour drive, and we get a call saying, oh, they're just letting the Denver guys in. I was gassed. I couldn't do it. But the Denver boys got in. So it was like Wardo, Leeser, Nearsy, Warren. They all got in the parade. They got their own fire truck. And then when the Avs went on stage and did all like the talking with Stan and stuff, Moose and Nearsy snuck on stage and they were chanting with Stan Kroenke for 5-10 minutes. And
I can't imagine that guy having a conversation with me.
no, so said he was loving it. They said they were loving him. And then what's the Avs coach name? Bednar?
yeah, Jared Bednar.
Yeah, he was chatting with him for a bit. So they had their fun, but it looked like a blast. But I mean, at least a couple of the boys got to do it. But I mean, we got to win it, so that's all I really cared about.
Yeah, sorry for bringing up a.
Hey, it's all good. We got to see the snaps.
There've been a few like tough subjects that have been brought up. I think I brought up both of them.
Yeah. Tough questions. You asked the tough questions.
Journalists.
People need to
This
hear
is why it's an important podcast.
Did I hear correctly that you went to school kind of for this? Like, did you also go to school for broadcasting or some kind of journalism or something like that, or am I completely out to lunch?
No, you nailed it. Electronic media communications was my degree. What were you saying, Pacer?
I was gonna say, Tino, you essentially replaced Connor Robinson.
Yeah, you took my job. So not only did you hurt my feelings twice,
This
you
was
took my
all.
job.
This was Crob's idea, and Tyler just like
Come on.
Can we just steal
bought
your
this
identity?
facility, hired out another Crob, and
Said, hey, you want to come as a podcast? And then 3 lines below as a guest.
Well, I remember. I remember a couple years ago when you guys were doing the winter box sessions. I remember you were doing like the play-by-play. You were doing the commentary for it, and I tuned in. I was watching for one of the games, and I remember thinking like, it sounded like you're doing like Call of Duty call-outs when guys were going to the floor. You're like over center. There's a guy coming from the bench. He's on your back.
He's like, oh, got him.
Yeah, I was working out the kinks. There's a lot of echo, so it was really distracting in the forum. But
he
I
just
thought
hear his hand in the chip bag.
Right in the clusties.
what? Hey, a guy can't snack.
So you went to school for?
I went to school for electronic media. Yeah, we had at High Point University when I went to. The dean there, he's a big communications guy, so they put a lot of money. So in the building, there was a full news studio, kind of behind the scenes, production room, broadcast room. So you really got to see kind of what goes on behind the scenes of television and news. And the other thing he did, which was really cool, and which kind of drew me to that major, was he brought in a lot of professionals that were working in the industry. So one of my main professionals, he was the producer of the Today Show for 30 years. So real world experience that kind of showed you and really told you real life stories. So I really enjoyed my time there. And I mean, I'm hoping to get into media one day. Kind of COVID hit right when we graduated, so it kind of took a back seat to it. But I mean, there's always time. And I mean, if there's ever an after playing career, I'd love to have the opportunity to step into the booth and get on the mic.
That was going to be my next question is, do you imagine yourself hopping into a booth or something?
I'd love to. It'd be so much fun.
I bet you people would be like chomping at the bit to get you on a microphone.
Crob he wouldn't have pushed the cough button.
Yeah.
Don't push it. This guy's a fat loser.
Yeah.
Someone has a TV sound. I'm just slurping a soda.
Okay, so do you guys want to get? I have a text. We have a mutual. So I texted him earlier, and I want to read you his text message. I was asking for some stories about you, and I want to read this to you and see if you can guess. I want you to talk about this a little bit, but I want to see if you can guess who it was sent from. But before I get to that, like, do you guys have anything like Colorado based you want to get into?
Not Colorado based, but you touched on High Point. Basically, what I know of High Point is that it's like a country club. Like it's a crazy nice school. They've invested a ton of money into it. We asked Curtis the same thing last week, and there are listeners on here that are going to want to know about the different schools that guys went to. So maybe touch on a little bit about your experience with High Point, why you maybe would recommend it to somebody who's looking into going there.
Yeah, no, I chose High Point. I was looking at a few schools, and it really set down. Obviously, the campus is beautiful. If you look at pictures and you look at videos of High Point University, it's, like you said, a country club. There's more now, but when I was there was 7 outdoor pools, like 4 indoor pools, 5-star steakhouse, an arcade room, little chipping course, like ridiculous, volleyball courts, like you name it. I took a scuba diving class and I got certified for a credit. Like, it was awesome. Like, I took a golf class. So it was definitely somewhere where you went to enjoy college. It wasn't somewhere where you go to a university and you explore the outside of the town. It was really enclosed. There was like more of a gated community, and it was a really close, I think there was only 4,000 people when I was there. So it was a very small university, small classroom sizes, where the teachers there were really helpful if you actually needed help instead of like the big class sizes. I don't know what DU had, but I think my biggest class was maybe 20. So you could really actually talk to the teacher, and it wasn't like you were just showing up in a 500-person lecture. And then the other thing was Coach Torpy. He really instilled, I was a bit of, I don't want to say lazy, but I definitely let my skill in high school. carry me most of the way. So he really instilled like the hard work and the work ethic, and really skills only going to take you so far. And he really believed in the beat you down to build you back up if you didn't like what you saw. So, I mean, I got my ass kicked for 2.5 years until I figured it out, but I finally did, and I really owe it all to him. He was hard, he was cruel, he was an asshole most of the time, but he was an asshole in the best kind of way, and I love him for it. So it was it was challenging to say the least, and the success might have not been there kind of on your level, winning national championships and competing for that caliber, but
Not a big deal.
not a big deal. Had to throw that one in there, but no,
He would have told you.
SoCon champs, first men's team ever in High Point history to win a conference championship.
Was it the first year of the division, or?
Me, maybe. We changed. I think I was there for 4 years, and I think we changed conferences 3 times. I think
Just couldn't figure it out. Went to
Staying active.
Just tried to find one that you could win.
we went SoCon, Atlantic Sun, and then back to SoCon, and then now we're in the A10.
I've
Which-
heard of none of those.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
He also can't spell.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
True.
Yeah. He's a trades guy.
Yeah.
ECIT.
Yeah. School of Hard Knocks.
No
Yeah.
Kenya though.
Okay, Delbs, you got anything before I read this?
No, we're good. We went long last week. We're trying to dial it in a bit, so I'll let you go.
Okay, and we got some more stuff to get into after as well. But okay, so I just want to read this for you. Like I said, I want you to see if you can guess who this came from, and then I want you to tell me what comes to mind after you hear this. So,
I'm nervous.
word for word here. Mainly just my first encounter with him. It was my second year intermediate right before playoffs, and we were a wagon. What I was doing on that team, I have no idea. Guys like Josh Byrne, Tony Malcolm, Justin Goodwin, Quinn McKay, Connor's brother, Reese, who was about my size, just about 20 pounds lighter, but just so smooth and slimy. So we got word that Reese's brother, who was in minor at the time, was joining us for playoffs and provincials. First practice, they come out to join us, and I'm looking for a small guy, like Reese, because us vertically challenged guys have to stick together. I finally ask our coach, Don McDonald, where Reese's brother is, and he points over at this load of a 14-year-old lighting up our starting goalie, Rocky Bowman, who was the self-proclaimed best goalie in BC. So if he thinks the
Rocky just gets bus driven.
Rocky's gets peppered.
Collateral. Sorry, Rocky.
Yeah, at least they didn't mention Camo beating him up.
So if he thinks the comments on his size started on the TSN national broadcast, hate to break it to him, people have been saying that for a while. Haha. But Connor turned out to be huge for us that playoff and provincial run that ended in a gold and a 17-6 final game against Coquitlam. Suck on that. We all knew then that he was going to be a special talent and was going to go on to do some pretty big things, and that showed in junior and what he's done in the league. What comes to mind when you hear that, and who do you think it came from?
So he was on the team in intermediate.
Was Frankie on that team?
No, he was
He
on
was
the
in
junior.
He went straight to junior.
And
Yeah.
keep in mind, he also
My
says
bad.
he's vertically challenged.
Yeah, I know. So I want to say Corey Takahara is my first guess.
Damn.
Did I nail it?
Bang. Yeah.
He's kind of a
Yeah.
sick throwback player too.
Yeah.
Sick throwback.
Yeah.
So it was
Shifty. He's like the righty Will Malcolm style, like that
Is he a
quick.
limestone guy?
no, he was a
Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge.
He went to. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he went
What's the
somewhere.
high
But no,
school
so I mentioned Tony, Will's brother, on the short man
don't
and
know.
intermediate.
I can't remember. I feel bad that I can't remember where he went.
So that 4-man ragger, it was my brother who Corey mentioned, Slimy, Corey, Tony, and then Luke Gillespie, who had a gate torque that was maybe
Pinched
like an
so-
inch and a half
He
wide.
was
Credit card.
sick.
He was sick.
He
Luke
just-
Gillespie was
was
sick.
sick.
I played like a couple games senior with him. Some games he'd just show up with a bag of McDonald's.
Oh,
Just go out there, just ISO
Yeah.
Joe runs head down through people.
Head down and then just go cheese and
Yeah.
just jog
Beauty.
off. I'm tired, and just go, yeah, have a little snack. Have a couple of McNuggets during the period.
Guys like us do it, we get picked on.
Yeah, exactly. It's bullshit. It's a double standard.
Okay. Do we want to move on to some other stuff around the league before we wrap up the episode here? Or do you guys got some more stuff?
No.
No.
Let's move on.
Okay, so we got a couple of topics to get into, including a fire sale of sorts that's going on right now. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes, but I want to go through a couple other items first. And one thing that Delbs put in the notes here, which, Karab, you might be able to talk about because I believe it happened in your game. Delbs put guys fighting with helmets on. Delbs, you want to go into this a little bit?
I think the league actually. Do we penalize people for taking their helmets off and squaring up? Like, is the fighting penalty different if you do that? If it's like premeditated?
I don't know, but we had a square off fight in our game.
It was good.
Yeah.
Benny did good.
Yeah, it's a tough guy he went against.
Yeah, a lot.
Who do you go against? Gillis?
Biles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tough
Guy.
customer. Yeah, I don't to be honest, I don't know. We talked about it. I don't know all the rules. He got a fighting. They both got fighting majors. They both ended up leaving the game. So who knows?
I think we should almost encourage you to take your helmet off. We should say if you don't take your helmet off and you fight, it's an extra 2 minutes.
Well, I think the rule is like once the whistle is blown, anything after the whistle is considered automatic game misconduct and you're gone. So like people are excited to a little bit horny to like get their stuff off and like get going so they don't get kicked out
If
of the
you're
game.
like going to punch somebody in the face, how are you supposed to hear a whistle in a Colorado packed arena?
Exactly.
I also think though, like if you're, and I saw like the clip of it. I didn't watch the actual like lead up to it and the build up. But what I understand is that basically Craig was stepping in to protect his teammate. And to be frank, like if you're in a situation where you're just like jumping in and mixing it up right away, like you're not worried about taking your helmet off. It's just like, I'm going to beat the wheels off this guy. However I do that, it's like, let's make it happen right now.
Tyler does that all the time, hey?
I mean, it's just,
That's how they used to do it for him in Ladner. That's all he knows.
yeah,
Just do the.
yeah. Boys, get them.
Irving comes out there with a baseball bat.
Hacks is on the floor.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. I think ideally if there's going to be a fight and it's like it's supposed to be even and two guys are saying, hey, let's do this, and they end up dropping the gloves, like I think they should both take their helmets off. But I do think that in the heat of the moment, in the heat of competition, and you're kind of gladiators in a sense in that situation, it's just like, I'm going to try to kill this guy and I don't care how I do it. It's just like, I want to win this battle and that's the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're in a little scuffle and you kind of the emotions are running high and your guy gets hit and someone grabs you and you're not thinking, oh, let me back off and take my gloves off and square off like
Just
a
see red.
showdown.
It's fair.
Exactly.
It was also like you guys were wearing the Marvel jerseys in that game. It was superhero night in Vancouver. Delbs knows about that. He was thrown up on the jumbotron there in Vancouver.
The only screen he can fit on.
Delbs,
gonna
what
say-
superhero do you think you're most relatable to?
That's a tough one. I don't know. Tino, you got any suggestions? Maybe like Fantastic Four, the guy who's just made out of rock.
Yeah.
You're all.
I'm just a dense
I'm
guy.
the Fantastic Four.
I'm just the guy, the dense guy, the rock guy in that.
The Thing.
Yeah, the thing.
Just
Yeah?
bricks.
Yeah.
Shout out to me for knowing that. Hot
Is
damn.
that what
That's a
it's
good
called,
pull.
the
That's a good
Thing?
pull.
I
Yeah.
think it's the Thing.
Thing. Yeah,
I
his name's Ben Grimm. I don't mean to one up you,
Suits
but
me. Couldn't even come up with
Okay.
a name.
This is the
Like the Mad Max, the movie Mad Max, how all the bad guys, they come from the like home base, like the giant thing that's in the home base, like the big fat guy. that
the guy with all like the oxygen tanks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
outrageous.
such a big lead up.
Yeah, huge lead up just for you to have the same hairline as him.
This is the second year now, I think, that the NLL has been doing the Marvel collab. Do guys have like? Are you guys of the mindset of like whatever, we're just throwing on whatever jersey? Like, do players have any thoughts on the Marvel jerseys? Do you guys like them, dislike them? Are you completely impartial? Like,
I liked yours. I liked that you had matching helmets too.
Yeah. I thought those were really cool.
And
I think-
shorts.
Yeah. Well, with the Marvel stuff, it's like an NLL sponsor, so every team gets matching shorts, and that's been a big issue of mine that I've expressed several times, that there are like, we'll get like special night uniforms, but we don't have the matching shorts, so we have like this mismatch.
We didn't have away shorts for the longest
We
time.
have this mismatch of like uniform to short, and then we have a mismatch helmet as well. Like, I just think it's like ticky tacky. You don't see that kind of stuff at the NHL level, and it feels weird. And to see you guys have the helmets, the gloves, the helmets, the jerseys, and the shorts, and it's like a legit uniform. I thought it looked good. But to answer your question, I'm pretty impartial, to be honest. Like, you show up, you put the jersey on, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're just going to go play a lacrosse game.
Yeah, as long as they do a good job and like they put some effort into it and it doesn't look like absolute trash, like it'll like, I'm all for it. Like,
Yeah.
they want to do something cool, do something different to kind of broaden the fan base and kind of bring Marvel into it, then more power to them. But just as long as they're good and like they put effort into it, then all for it.
Yeah, just an exposure-based thing, and if it's good, like if kids like it, that kind of stuff, awesome. The only thing I would say that I know last year, I don't know, I can't speak on this year because I'm not in the league, is like the goalie jerseys. We're not like, it's not the normal ProJoy provided jersey because like they don't have the naming rights or whatever for Marvel. So there was guys like putting bowling balls in sleeves, cutting other jerseys to hem them up because
Yeah,
No
like
way.
they didn't fit. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Delbs is
Oh, it's good.
Delbs
like I was tight. I was
Delbs already
tight, and
struggles to
believe it
get
or
into his
not, I'm a
jersey.
small goalie. Looking at this stature, but yeah, like it was pretty tough. But whatever, that's a small problem in the grand scheme.
Yeah, fair enough. We also have to talk about the double penalty shot that went down in Vancouver. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I personally have never seen a call. I mean, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it first because I actually looked it up in the rule book. Have any of you seen anything like that before? Back-to-back penalty shots on like one call.
Never, but did they get it right?
I don't think so.
They did.
Okay,
Wow.
I was gonna say.
I don't
I
think
thought
so.
they did.
I don't think maybe the official rule, and Tino's about to fact check me, but maybe the official rule is correct. But if you watch the replay, and if that's what they're doing is watching the replay and figuring that out, then Bobby Kidd, in my opinion, did not leave the bench early. So the too many
fair.
men rule in that scenario shouldn't apply. And someone else brought up a pretty good point that if you're on a breakaway, you only get one chance to score.
True.
So you should only get one chance to score.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
But that's not what the rule book says.
But then the argument is what if you hold a guy twice? You only get one penalty. You only get 2 minutes, or you get 4. Like, why would you only get one
you would get 4, yeah.
penalty shot for 2 mistakes that the other team made? I didn't see if Bobby was.
Yeah,
in
it
the
wasn't
bench or
early.
not, but-
Wild photo. If you're looking at that, Bobby is in the change box. It's fine, but Clarich is also like 20 yards behind him. Like Clarich was moving on that play.
yeah, he's an athletic lad. It's nice. He's good out there, like in
He's like a
transition.
basketball player.
Yeah, he's good in transition.
So I did because, like, full disclosure, like I did a halftime hit on Sask radio of that game, and Cody
Plug.
Jansen,
Nice.
Congrats.
humble brag, you know,
We're moving you up. in the
Yeah,
world.
you're
Hey,
making it.
We did promote the pod a
yeah,
little.
Tino was just talking about how many followers he gained from this.
Yeah, 7.
Bragging to the boys.
He's doubled. He's doubled his
that's-
following.
But
He's got 40 now.
He's got half of Saskatchewan.
Janner was hot about the call, and he was like, I don't think they got this right and stuff, and I agreed with him. I was like, just based on the explanation that the official gave, which was very thorough, like the explanation he gave sounded good, but I didn't agree with it, I didn't think it was right. So the next day, just for the sake of knowing, I went and found it in the rule book, and based on the rule book, it is right. So 96.7, illegally entering the game and interfering with the ball carrier on a breakaway. But by this rule, you don't have to make contact with the player on a breakaway for it to be deemed as interference. So they're saying like being on the floor and just kind of getting with him, that is deemed as interfering with him in this case. And then fouled from behind, that's rule 43.5 while on a breakaway. That's also a penalty shot. So technically by the rule book, like they did get it right.
Yeah, and I do think that Garrison, he was making the call. I think that he explained it pretty well. Like, in fairness, he explained the rule. He went on the mic. He explained the rule pretty well. Double penalty shot. Like I said, I think if you're on a breakaway, you only have one chance to score the goal there. I feel like everybody's just trying to stop that guy from getting his shot off. So we stopped him from getting his shot off. He gets one chance to try to make us pay for it. I'm going to kind of hold
I
on
hope
to
you
that.
get held on a breakaway. That would have been a double penalty shot. You would get caught too.
Yeah, I'd get caught, but then I'd watch Curtis Dixon take 2 penalty shots.
What was the outcome of it? Did they? Was it?
It was 1-1.
1-1?
Great, like from like a fan standpoint, it was like comes down. Frank makes the first save. Baller goes for the second, scores. And like when that's the other thing I don't know about the rule. Do you have to have the same guy?
No,
take
you
both?
got to be able to give him the opportunity
They
to mix
went-
it up. But the thing
like,
is,
they,
do you they
do
that
stuck with
though?
Baller after he missed the first one.
Well,
I was like, that was pretty sick.
I don't know who. Yeah, it was a cool little like battle between the two. I don't know who else they would have gone with though. Baller's
I
like a
just, like,
50 goal scorer
I
a
don't know.
year.
I just thought it would be cool if Clarich did it because he went down the floor.
I
He
thought
could have
that
sent Bides too, though.
I
right?
thought they were gonna go with Clarich, I thought that was gonna be the rule, like the guy who's pulled down was.
Just
But
pick.
Mouse talked about it in the post game press conference where he was like, "Yeah, like what does that do for the confidence of Keegan Ball if he misses on the first one and then we go to put something?" Like he wanted to give him a chance to like go
Yeah,
back at it.
I think that decision has to be made before the first penalty shot.
Yeah.
Like
You're going.
okay, baller's going and then so and so's going. But if you're like, okay, baller's going and if you miss,
Yeah, you better
if you
not
miss,
miss.
then you're out. Like it's just no way to.
That's
That's no way to approach it. But also, I think that every team has like, you kind of know who your like penalty shot guy is. I joked that it was Curtis. I think Curtis would probably say, and I would probably agree, that Dane Doby is likely the candidate for our team to take the penalty shot. And I feel that every team probably has that guy where it's like, hey, when it happens and there's a penalty shot, everybody's just going to start looking at that guy because they know who that person's going to be. And for Vancouver, obviously it's Keegan.
You ever taken a penalty shot in the NLL? No.
No, Jesse took him before we had Dane and Curtis back.
Pacer, have you ever taken a penalty shot like in ever?
Never.
No,
Ever?
Me neither.
Never.
Wow.
No.
I think I've witnessed a few, but never gotten the green light.
They're not really that common.
No.
I
they're not
like when
common.
like the team's up a lot and they let the face-off go. It's like super disrespectful, but the face-off guy scores, and it's like a Rudy moment. Everybody's on the floor. You're up 10 goals. They're lifting this guy up.
I think Connor Farrell took a penalty shot earlier this season, but he missed. Like he didn't score.
He missed. Yeah, he missed. And then I think Max Alder actually scored his first goal that way in Rock.
Adler.
Yeah.
Adler.
Sorry. Good guy. He's a Bentley alum. Real small school.
You just know where everybody went to school, hey?
Yeah. Can't pronounce his name, though.
Good for you.
Yeah. Can you pronounce Kenya?
Okay. Let's talk about some of these trades here, shall we? Because there is currently a fire sale going on with the Toronto Rock, and we've been
Do we have a sound? Do we have a sound for like breaking news?
no, Jamie, we may need a sound effect for breaking news.
By the way, no, that's taken. That's taken. By the way, though, I've been asked this several times. Who's Jamie? I think we should
is
stop.
Jamie?
I don't know if this is like going to be an ongoing bit. Maybe it is, but Jamie, when we say Jamie, it's us referring to the Joe Rogan podcast. Our Jamie is Tyler Klarner. So just so that those of you at home who are wondering who the hell is Jamie, Jamie is actually Tyler Klarner, and we just refer to him as Jamie. That's his alter ego.
Shout out Ty, he just found out the gender of his baby too.
Yeah, shout out
Girl dad.
Mr. Klarner. He's going to be a girl dad. Yeah,
Girl dad.
That's
Huge.
exciting.
It's huge. Okay, let's go down some of these trades because we have. I mean, are all one of them is for sure confirmed.
Do we have a sound?
No, we don't have a sound right now, unless we put it in a
What the
post.
hell is this thing for?
Yeah, can you like
Looks cool.
pretend to hit the button and then we'll add it later?
Okay. Go. Hold on. Say that there's like some news.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that's how it makes me feel.
Is there another? Can we try? Can we keep trying? Say breaking news. Like keep trying.
Breaking news.
Nope.
These are the two that I can reach.
No.
Why are all the bad ones down here?
No,
Oh,
that's not bad.
bad.
That's
a
better.
positive one.
Breaking news.
Hold on.
Okay. That's enough. That's enough. That's loud.
Okay, breaking news.
Hold on. Is
You're
it
having a
this one?
sensory issue
This
again.
one? No.
No.
This one.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
pink one. Pink
Nope.
one.
Pink. Okay. Okay. Go.
Okay, breaking news. This is like arts and crafts, just figuring things out.
Why are our episodes so long?
Okay, so the first one on the list, it involves the Calgary Roughnecks, and it is Robert Hudson and a first going to the Toronto Rock in exchange for goaltender Nick Rose and defender Tyler Hendricks. With that one in mind, Delves, maybe we'll start with you because there's a goalie involved here, and you are formerly the goalie of the Calgary Roughnecks. What are the initial thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously helps them. Rosie's like 10 out of 10 guy. Obviously a veteran guy going into free agency, so it's understandable for Calgary, right? And it's understandable for Toronto too, right, to get the return. With that being said, like kind of touching on what Curtis said last week, I was kind of cracking up when he's talking about his ex. Like, part of me, when you break up with someone, it's like, yeah, like they can move on, but it would kind of be nice if they signed the divorce papers before they move on. That would probably help my case, but I mean, they're all in, right? They're pushing the chips on the table. Lots of pending free agents in Cowtown and adding more, but if you win, nobody cares.
I actually had somebody ask me earlier, do I think that you, Delbs, are going to be pissed off now that there was a goaltending change or a goaltending trade involving Calgary? Is there any kind of emotion like that from you?
I mean, like for the most part, like we've kind of touched on it. Guys come on the pod that are my buddies in Calgary. It's like I don't want to see them have a bad season. So if it helps them, and like even me and Mike Board for the most part of my time in Calgary had a very good working relationship. So like I can be happy for them. Yeah, does it help my situation? Probably not, but sky's not falling. Like if they didn't make the trade, they probably still weren't trading me. So if they can do a little bit better, good for them.
Pacer, you got I would imagine, a new starting goaltender behind you. What are the thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, I mean, when you insert the reigning goalie of the year into your locker room, into your lineup, like it's a big boost for a team. And it's weird because obviously we've had Cloudy and we've had Scotty Bowman and we've had Goa in the lineup for our goaltender carousel. And it's weird to think now that like neither of them are going to be the starter. I mean, most likely. So that's strange. Like you feel for that situation because the goaltending position is limited to 2 goalies in the starting lineup, and only one of those guys in reality is going to play. So that's a bit of a shakeup that I think I've never had an experience with.
Sorry, I think Goa might be a part of the trade.
He might be a part of the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
could
how
be very
breaking
true.
news this is.
Well, it's pretty breaking. But yeah, like having a new goalie come in, I've never, obviously with Delbs always being there in my career, I've never had a situation like this before. So it's definitely something that's strange. But like I said, you insert the reigning goalie of the year for a team that's, above 500. I don't know that we were expected to be in this situation at this point in the season. So I think it adds a little bit of confidence to our lineup, and it kind of shows that management is willing to make a push here as we approach the tail end of the season.
And Krob, as a member of a rival team, like what goes through your mind when you see, like Pacer mentioned, the reigning goalie of the year is now traded to one of your rivals?
Let's hope it doesn't go through till next week.
Yeah, busy paperwork week.
No, I mean, I think with Delb sitting out, I think a lot of people are looking at that position as a weakness and something that Calgary might struggle with. And they've done an awesome job. I mean, they're at the top of the standings, and Rosie's an unbelievable goalie. So I mean, that's gonna help them a lot. So I mean, we're playing them this week, so I'm excited to go up against them. It's gonna be a good challenge, and it's nice shooting on Rosie because he's a world-class goalie, and you wanna be the best, you got to beat the best. So I mean, it's gonna be a good challenge. We're excited, but no, happy for Calgary, happy for Tyler. Sad for Delbs, but it is what it is.
It is what it is right. Who cares?
And Nick Rose is a UFA at the conclusion of this season. So I think a lot of people are anticipating that he's probably just going to go back to Calgary or going back to Toronto. Do we think Calgary tries to sign him?
Yeah.
We tried to sign a lot of guys.
Yeah, I think
tried to sign Ryan Dilks.
But is that a realistic?
Best case scenario is that everybody stays. The realistic scenario is that there are a lot of, and Delb's already alluded to it, there are a lot of guys that are in a similar situation who will have the opportunity after this season to go elsewhere and make their own decisions. So as much as Calgary might try to keep everybody, to expect or to think that all of them are going to stay is far-fetched. It's not impossible, but I'd say far-fetched. And given our track record in the last 5-6 years, I would say that it's very likely we're not able to keep all of these guys.
I just think also like Rosie's personal situation, just with like running the track elite league and kind of how intertwined his life is with Jamie and all of the businesses and kind of how close they are. Like the sign on the wall is it's almost a rental deal, right? Like I think most people can put that together.
Totally. And there are still 2 more deals to get through here, both involving, or all 3 of these obviously involving Toronto. Mitch DeSnoo, more breaking Mitch DeSnoo and Chris Corbeil go to Philly. I don't know what the return is. I don't know what the return here.
Should we take a guess?
Sure.
I'm going to say Liam Patton and Leclerc.
I think it's just picks.
You think just picks?
Yeah.
Oh, what about Deacon Knott?
Did they get rid of all their picks when
What about
they
if
like the
Deacon
whole
Knott was in that trade?
dispersal draft? Getting
Goalie of
everyone
the
from
future
Ottawa.
for Toronto.
That's a great question.
Nick DeMood's there.
I should look that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe, but they probably would have wanted a goalie.
That's what I'm saying. Deacon not.
No, I think Philly would have wanted a goalie.
Yeah, that's true.
If they're giving up their backup, they're going to want a goalie in return. So I
That's
don't think
true.
it's a goalie. I'm trying to think of what Toronto. Yeah, I mean Toronto. Obviously, they're in a fire sale situation right now. They're not, unlike most teams generally tend to do. Like most teams are in like win now. We need to win right now. Toronto's made it very clear that they're not in win now mode. So I don't know that they're going to try to load up with high level players. So the idea that it's picks is probably not that bad of an idea, or maybe a younger guy that they think they can develop into like a future star.
Do you want to take a guess at what you think the return is?
No, I think Pacer nailed it all. I was trying to think that whole time of a smart guess to make me sound cool, but drawn a blank so far. But no clue.
Okay, and the last trade to break. Okay, yep. Brad Cree allegedly to Halifax.
Yeah, Brad Cree to Halifax?
Allegedly.
Question mark?
I don't know if we can assume what he was traded for if it's allegedly.
Question mark? Bobo Hunter?
Come on, you're an idiot. No, not
yeah,
that.
it's not Bobo Hunter. But yeah, I mean, did you guys see? Yeah, it's a big trade. Obviously, Halifax has been on a tear for the last little bit, and I don't know if you guys saw Stephen Keogh's tweet or whatever.
If
but
he said if they get a home playoff game,
they're gonna win the NLL championship.
So
So
they get one home game.
if they get a, yeah, I guess maybe the
was
first round.
confused.
Yeah.
The first round,
First
I would
round,
assume.
yeah.
Yeah, if they get a home playoff game in the first round, is what I'm going to paraphrase, then they would win the NL championship. At this rate, maybe. But I think that in the NLL, if you don't have like a superstar goaltender, you're going to have a really hard time winning the NLL championship. And I think Hill's a good goalie, but I think there are other goalies around the league who are far superior that are in potentially better situations than Halifax might be.
I hope Halifax gets you guys in playoffs.
Bulletin board.
rematch of the season opener.
In Halifax.
In Halifax. Pacer just me showing up.
I will say I've been pretty critical of Warren Hill in the past. This year, what I like about Halifax is they're kind of doing the reverse Halifax. Usually in every other year.
Starting bad, ending strong.
Yeah, usually every other year they start so hot and then they just fizzle out completely, Hill included. And this year it's been the opposite, where the team and Warren Hill started poorly and they've just progressively been getting better after that stretch of going winless.
One thing I just before we move on from this topic, like what Jamie's doing right now we could be building a dynasty for Toronto. Like they might get the first pick for Kirst, right? Pretty good player. And then he's just going to go around and re-sign all these guys in the offseason and have all these other teams' picks.
Yeah, and
We're creating a monster.
Yeah, this could be like a sick master
Bad news
plan.
bears.
This could be a sick master plan. Now, what I will say, some of the guys that are in this deal, it's one of those situations where it's like there's not many more opportunities for them. Like they only have so many years left. So let's give them a chance at making a run at this, because they may not get another chance afterwards. So yes, some of those guys are probably going to come back. Some of those guys may not play anymore after this year. And I think there are still a couple of, at least one huge asset on that right side that we had discussed in Tom Schreiber that, I mean, there's going to be a big ask for him. But if he gets moved, then Toronto's going to have a lot of compensation coming back to them, which again, could be part of the big master plan, but it's yet to be finalized.
They still need to have a team.
I was going to say, who's going to play for Toronto after all this?
Tyler.
All the guys.
Tyler and how many picks for
Tyler's
Tom
like, it's a
Schreiber?
historic franchise.
Yeah, historic franchise, Eastern Games.
All right. That feels like a pretty good. We've been going for about an hour here, so pretty much on time here. We're saving Ty Klarner some editing time compared to the last episode. A couple more things I just want to get through quickly. Of course, ad space is still available. We've had some people reach out, which is awesome. If you are interested in sponsoring the pod, hit us up in the DMs. Is that right?
We'll be announcing our first sponsor next episode. So that's exciting, and we're going to be sending some messages out and making some phone calls to a couple other people who reached out as well. But I think what we have kind of decided is that we're going to make our sponsorship programming a little more exclusive. We're not going to have 100 sponsors and do an ad read every 15 seconds. So it's going to be relatively exclusive. There's going to be sort of packages that you can buy to be included in 4 episodes of the podcast. So I think it's a fair deal. I think it makes a lot of sense. If you give us a chance to explain it to you, I think you'd be interested in doing it. And if not, no worries. We'll just try to find someone else.
And one more thing as well. We talked about this a little bit before we kind of got the podcast underway, but there's been a lot of discussion about the logo. And I think the one that we're currently using is kind of just like a stock one that we put together. There were some mock-ups before, but do you want to talk about something you've been thinking about with the logo?
Yeah, first of all, the logo is a good logo.
Yeah.
To the point. You know what you're getting. Morning Shootaround.
At night.
No, it's posted in the morning.
Crowd, what do you think about the logo?
I like it.
Thanks.
What is the logo?
No idea.
It's just
It's the Morning Shootaround.
yeah.
Is it the cursive that kind of goes? It's on the Spotify, isn't
It's
it?
the letters that look like words.
Yeah. All right. Are we gonna have a spelling competition now, Christian?
No. I got my joke out on the enunciation, and I'm done.
Annunciation.
Annunciation.
Yeah. I'm not your guys' circus monkey.
So the idea that we have is to all of our listeners, all of our fans, and to be frank, we're 2 episodes in. It's not that we have that many, but we're on the up and up here, and we're actually making some pretty significant progress. And I think it's a good opportunity to start this little fan competition, I guess. So what we are asking you guys to do as fans is come up with what you think our logo should be. And we will go through those logos and we'll decide which one we think is the best, and we'll test some out. We'll see what kind of feedback we get from the ones that we like. And if there's one that we just love, then that'll probably be the sticking logo for the time being. I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to be there forever. But for now, competition is send us in the DMs, send us your idea of what the Morning Shootaround logo should be. And then we will look through those. And hopefully by next episode, we have a new logo.
Anything come to mind right off the top of your head?
Yeah, I got to get some work, and I got to get back into the Photoshop. I have a couple ideas for Delbs.
Did you have a course for that at High Point or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arts and crafts.
It was after scuba
Arts and Crafts
diving, apparently.
202. Thank you very much. We did Photoshop and Photoshop.
Yeah. I'm a Photoshop guy.
Yeah. Actually, I don't want to disclose that. Never mind.
Okay. Put a pin in that one. All right.
Tino makes our memes.
Okay.
Hates the league.
We got to try it. It got a lot of clicks, man. It got a lot
I'm
of
not doing
clicks.
it. Like I said, I'm not your circus monkey.
It got so many
I'm
clicks.
not doing it. I'm
Okay,
not your
what could I
circus
do?
monkey.
You said put your hairline in the thing.
What if Krob asked you?
I'm not doing it.
What if our guest? It's our guest.
But I'm the guest, Christian.
Because it's going to be a nonstop thing. I'm not doing
That's
it.
right, but
Yeah.
it's getting
gotta nip it.
clicks.
It's for
I'm
the
not doing it.
fans. Don't you
No.
hate the fans, or do you
No.
love the fans?
No,
Okay. The word is,
I'm not doing it.
come on,
I won't
please.
do it. We're going to run too long on the episode because you want to beat this to the ground. I'm not
Okay.
doing it.
The word is nauseous.
No.
Come on, please.
No. Krob?
Swing and a miss. No, that's the right one.
Yeah, that one.
Nope, not the.
I think
Nope.
it's the
No, it's the yellow
down.
one.
No,
on
the
bottom.
yellow one.
I want
Yeah.
the boo sound.
Yeah, no, the bottom one below Christian.
Do we not have a boo sound?
Maybe. This feels like something we can figure out after.
Okay. The word is,
We're going to run
Nauseous.
so long. I'm not doing it.
come on.
No.
I actually think I might also have a hard time.
I
spelling
think
that.
I'm trying to sound out in my head. And I
Say
think I
come
got it.
on like that's like a sales pitch. Come on.
The fans want it.
No.
Krob
Okay.
says he thinks he's got it.
In
Krob
in
just
the
Googled
comments,
it on his
in the
phone.
comments,
No, I swear.
please let us know if next episode, maybe we'll do like a vote. Let us know if you want us to have Christian spell a word next episode.
More
It's
importantly,
gonna
do
be
you
yes.
think Christian can spell?
No. But we know this.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're
This
pretty
isn't-
good last time.
No. Yeah.
Okay,
great
Krob, do
start.
you want to try the word?
Give him a different word.
Yeah, I'll give you a different word.
Okay.
All right. Let me.
By the way, this is like 32 words that people struggle with, is what he Googles.
Yeah. Okay. Your word is going to be mischievous.
Come on. Come on. You couldn't even spell out with that in front of you.
I thought you were gonna be like, that one's easy.
No.
Is it M-I or M-Y?
You can't ask.
Yeah.
Can you use it in a sentence?
M-I-S-C-H-E.
He was wrong like 5 letters ago.
Is
Just
that?
letting him go.
V-O-U. Mischief. Why'd you give me like a 7-syllable word?
It's three syllables.
Mischievous.
We just talked about
Mischievousness?
episodes being too long, and this is what we're doing.
Mischievous. M-I-S-C-H-I-E-V-O-U-S.
I.
I before E, except after C.
No. Kristen thought I.
Yeah.
What did you say? Mischievous.
Wait, yeah. Wait, is it the same spelling as mischievous? Okay, well, yeah, that's Asker. You pronounced it wrong.
You pronounced the word wrong.
What a turn of events.
M-I-S. This is
Turned
mischievous.
himself.
Holy shit.
Jamie. Don't put it in front of this. Is your thing.
Mischievous. M-I-S-C-H-I-E-V-O-U-S. Mischievous.
What sounds better? You're so mischievous or you're so mischievous?
We gotta. So is he wrong?
No.
Look at he's blushing.
He's
He's
His game
blushing.
backfired.
Yeah.
didn't backfire.
You wouldn't let it die. If
All
you just
right.
let it die, it wouldn't have bit you in the ass here.
All right, let's wrap up the
Bite me in
episode.
the ass. You're wrong.
I didn't say I was wrong or right. Jamie did.
Jamie in the background from the rafters. It's mischievous.
From the ladder. He takes off his headphones. He's asking around.
Yeah. All right.
All right, folks. Well, that was episode 2 of Morning Shootaround. Krob, thanks for joining us. How'd you find it?
It was good. Thanks for having me on. I had a blast.
Yeah, that was a good time. To the moon. Morning Shootaround to the moon.
One last thing. We're hoping he's a reoccurring guest. This is the thing that we're kind of setting up. Krob, pretty good guest. Gets along with me and Pacer, so that's all I wanted to add.
Can I get one request? Next time I come on, can I sit there?
Right
Yeah,
in the middle.
yeah.
Right in the middle.
We thought about it. We thought about
eliminating, and then he said, why do we have the third camera then?
That makes Ty's life easier for the setup as well. So he'd be all for it. You guys are going to be nice
What's
and
the
sweaty
weight
after that.
capacity on this right side of the couch?
Yeah, we're gonna have to rearrange the cushions every episode.
Switch them. We'll
All
just
right.
rotate.
Just a little fire drill. It'll be a new segment.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Morning Shootaround. New episodes Friday morning. You can find us wherever you find your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. That was good. That felt good.